Good morning and welcome to today's verse. To God be the glory. What a great day it is today. Today's verse, it comes to us from the Gospel of Luke. Luke chapter 6 verse 30, and it says this: Give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone take what belongs to you, do not demand it back. I want to speak to you this morning about living an open-handed life. Imagine you're in a crowded grocery store parking lot and someone approaches you for a few dollars for gas. Well, you hesitate at first. You've heard stories about how people take advantage. But then you remember a friend who once decided to keep a small amount of what they call going the extra mile money with them, set aside specifically for moments like this. He said, if someone truly needs it, I'm helping them. And if they don't, well, God still honors my heart. That simple practice helps him to live with an open hand instead of a closed fist. This idea brings us straight to our verse where we find in Luke chapter 6, which is part of Jesus' Sermon on the Plain that parallels Matthew's Sermon on the Mount. Jesus is teaching his disciples what kingdom character looks like, how those who follow him live differently from those around them in the world. In verses 27 to 36, Jesus addresses what radical love really looks like. Love your enemies. Do good to those that hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. Turn the other cheek. Give without expecting a return. Now you know that that's totally different from the world. These commands are not about enabling abuse, but about breaking the cycle of retaliation, selfishness, and grudges. Jesus is calling his people to imitate God's generosity, a generosity that isn't based on the worth of the recipient, but based on the goodness of the giver, and that is God. Our verse is not a legalistic rule, but an example that illustrates the heart posture of a disciple. Open-handed generosity, even when it feels risky. Jesus is not saying let everyone exploit you, but he is saying don't let fear, pride, or the desire for payback shrink your heart. Give to everyone who asks you. Jesus calls us to be willing to meet the needs of others. It means we don't assume the worst about people. We stay generous rather than cynical. We treat our possessions as resources that God has entrusted to us. If anyone takes what belongs to you, don't demand it back. This speaks to releasing the spirit of retaliation. In Jesus' day, honor, vengeance were deeply valued. People fought for reputation and repayment like they do today. But Jesus flipped the script and teaches, let go of the obsession with fairness. Don't cling so tightly to your rights that you deny someone else's grace. Trust God to be your provider and defender. In short, Jesus invites his followers to mirror God's generosity. Generosity that flows even when it is not acknowledged, appreciated, or reciprocated. Our verse is a call to practice intentional generosity. Give to help, not judge the motives. Set aside a blessing budget, a heart posture that says, I'm ready to be generous. Sometimes someone might wrong us, and that will happen. Borrow and fail to return or take advantage of our kindness. Jesus teaches us that holding on to bitterness costs us more than the item that was lost. We can trust God with the outcome. Generosity is stewardship with faith. You give, you trust God to handle the heart of the other person. That's not your part. That's not your business. Jesus' command is about the heart, not reckless self-harm. It's a call to imitate the Father. And we find in verse 36, it really sums it all up by saying, be merciful just as your Father is merciful. We give because God gave to us first, did he not? So in summary, Our verse is a call to a life of open-handed generosity, free from retaliation and fear. It's not about being gullible. It's about reflecting God's character. To God be the glory for the great things he has done. I pray that you would meditate on today's verse. I pray you would put it into practice. Listen, again, it's the weekend. Get out and do something special for yourself and with your family. Tomorrow is coming. Sunday morning, enter into a place of worship with the saints of God. Depart to serve. Monday morning, God's willing. We'll see you right back here. Yes, on today's verse. Amen.